Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to talk about how to set up VS Code to compile and execute C and C++. This video is specifically for Ubuntu operating system, and I have created separate video for Windows OS, and corresponding link is available in the description. So for that, first we can install the Visual Studio Code. So in Ubuntu, we can install from App Center, open the App Center, search the Visual Studio Code, and click install, and it will ask for authentication. Enter the password. Now the installation is finished. I am closing this window. Before creating VS Code project, we need to install the build essentials, which will install utilities for compilation and debugging. So for that, we need to open the terminal using Ctrl Alt plus T and enter sudo apt update and press enter and enter the password. Now we can install the build essential using sudo apt install build essential gdb. I will be providing this command in the description of this video. So here build essential package is already in latest version, so we can directly go to the VS Code setup. VS Code settings for C and C++ are similar. I will use a sample calculator application using C to explain the process. Also, I will explain what are the changes required to compile and execute for C++ if you are building a C++ application. Now we can create the VS Code project. For that, I am creating a new folder named calculator inside the documents. I have opened the folder and I am opening a new terminal inside that folder. We can type code space dot to open the VS Code. Now the VS Code is opened. We can create a new C file named main.c. Now VS Code will recommend some extension package for C and C++. Have click on the show recommendation and it is showing C extension pack. We can install that. Now the extension pack installed. The required packs are installed along with this. Now the required source files are added. We can build the code. We can create a file called task.json to define how to build the code. Also, we can create another file launch.json to define how to run and debug the code. First, we can create the task.json file. For that, press Ctrl Shift T and here type task. So here a list come. We can click on this task, configure task, and another option came. You can select this gcc build active file. Now you can see a task.json file is created under this VS Code folder, and it contains some predefined settings, and we can modify according to our requirement. We don't need to change these two fields, and this command field is used to specify the compiler name, and since we are using GCC compiler, we don't need to change anything. This arc field is used to specify the arguments to the GCC compiler. This flag is for using ANSI color code for error and warning messages. This -g flag is added to generate debug symbols, and this field specifies the source codes. This -o argument specifies the next argument will be the executable name. So we can specify the executable name here. Now we can see this file directory name is given as the path to the executable, and this variable hold the path of file open in the IDE while executing the build operation. So this will result executable will generate in that particular folder. For example, if you have opened this mul.c and we are executing the build operation, and this executable will be generated in this folder named mul. So in order to avoid this and generate executable in a specific folder, we can change this variable to workspace folder, and we can add relative path to a specific folder. I am adding a folder name as build, and I am giving the executable name as calc. Now the executable will always generate in this build folder, no matter from which file we are executing the build command. Now we can specify the files which need to be compiled here. And here I am giving the relative path again. I am giving the workspace folder, and I am giving main.c as the first file. Similar way, I need to add the rest of the C files. Now we need to change the current working directory. I am changing this to the workspace folder. Now we can save the task.json file. Now we can add the launch.json file. For that, go to the section, run and debug section, and click on this create a launch.json file. And here we can select this launch option, and some data is pre-filled. We can edit this and specify our executable path. Now here we can change the current working directory to workspace folder. Okay, now we can save this file and we can execute from here. Before that, we need to compile the code. So press Ctrl Shift B to build the code, and it will ask for the task. We have already added the task, so click on this. Now the compilation is successful, and we can see executable is created under build folder. Now to execute this, go to this section again and click on this button. Yeah, we can see the code is getting executed. Now the code is executing successfully. Now if we need to debug, we can put a breakpoint here by clicking here and just press again. So now the breakpoint is hit. We can do the debugging accordingly. Like if you need to step into, you can press this. You can step over or step out of the functions. You can do the debugging accordingly. So that is all about how to set up VS Code to compile and debug C and C++. If you feel this video is useful to you, please like the video and please subscribe to my channel.